What is up, everybody? I have been away for a bit. I've actually been sick. You can probably hear it in my voice, and I have not been able to speak for the last 4 or 5 days at least. But I'm back up and going somewhat, so I figured I better get back online, do kind of an impromptu little video, kind of a death check. I'm still alive. I'm not dead. I don't know about you guys. Oops, an ad. But when we used to, when my kids were just old enough to go play outside by themselves, I'd let them into the backyard, and every 15 minutes I'd have to turn my head and look out the side glass door and do a death check, made sure they're still alive and well. And I am, and God, I've missed a lot. I really have. So I'm just gonna kind of go into this as just a really impromptu little stream to try to talk about some of the bigger stuff that's going on. Before I get too much into this, let's cover the usuals. If you like this channel, you like the content, please hit like, subscribe. If you're not already a subscriber, I would love to have you here. And hitting that like button really just kind of helps share this channel with more people, gets it in front of more viewers, and helps our community grow. And if you have the chance, you can always check out my website, midnightcomics.net, where you can actually buy my books if you want to see me try to put my money where my mouth is. All this time when I criticize the comic book industry and pop culture in general, this is my little contribution, my little effort to try to improve the space as best that I can. So I would love if you guys just at least checked it out, maybe even picked up a book or two. And anyway, back to the video. So the latest news was that DC announced that they were just canceling a slew of things. Wonder Woman 3 is canceled. Black Adam 2 canceled. Man of Steel 2 most likely canceled. Basically, if it's not already well in development, it is off the slate, according to the DCEU. Well, James Gunn has broken his silence, and he said that some of it's true, some of it's kind of true, and some of it's not true, and he wouldn't really tell us what. But he leaves us with this ominous, we're not going to make everybody happy. That's not great. I mean, yeah, I understand that that's the truth. You aren't going to make everybody happy. But I mean, at the same time, when you are, when your job is to create content that, builds a fan base that people are going to love, your goal is try to make as many people happy as possible. And I don't know if it's ever a great idea to just go out there and say, yeah, a lot of people aren't going to like what we're going to do, or some people aren't going to like what we're going to do, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. Not great. I don't think what's coming out of the DCEU news-wise right now is all that good for growing them into something that's going to be, something that's going to generate a lot of fan excitement and something that we're going to want to get behind. So if the news is, yeah, we're canceling a lot of the stuff that's out there, whether you're excited about it or not, then going forward, we're going to do something that we think is neat, but it's not going to make everybody happy. That's not great news. That's not how you build brand awareness. That's not how you get me excited for what you've got coming out. So, yeah, it feels like DCEU right now is finding a way to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Because, I mean, right now you've got an MCU that is a shadow of its former self. Disney, in and of its as a whole, is just not doing well. And now, they've got a chance to get out there and strike. I mean, every piece of press that comes out of DC right now or comes out of Warner Brothers, I think should be something that gets people hyped and gets people psyched about what's coming out, because all the alternatives are just drying up, and it seems like they actually have an opportunity here to really make a dent in the space as far as these kind of shared comic book cinematic universes going. And this is their opportunity, and they're just dropping the ball and fumbling all over the place. And it's just really sad to see. And then, speaking of dropping the ball and fumbling all over the place, let's talk about the other major thing that's going on in the industry right now, which is The Witcher. And man, what a mess this has turned out to be. So for those of you who don't know, Henry Cavill, who's played The Witcher for the first 2 and upcoming 3rd season, has exited the show. He hasn't really said a lot about why he's exited, but a lot of that's probably due to the fact that he really can't, based on, I'm sure, his contracts and everything else. But if you look at kind of what he has said and what he said in the past, things like, I'll play this character forever as long as they respect the source material. And we're hearing a lot of rumors about what actually went on in the writing room. In fact, the showrunner, the showrunner for the new X-Men 1990s cartoon over at Disney came from the writer's room of The Witcher, and he just says they despise the Witcher novels. They're not fans of the games. These are people who just want to take a property and mold it into whatever it is that they want to mold it into. And and based on that, with Henry Cavill's comments, that seems like that's probably what's going on. So again, Netflix had the chance to build something amazing, a huge franchise from the Witcher universe. They put it in the hands of people who really had no business, in my opinion, writing, helming this show. Not to say that they're bad writers, just as that this wasn't their project. I mean, even based on what we're hearing, even they're saying this wasn't their project. But, they're happy to be writers. They don't want to lose their jobs. So, of course, now we have the showrunner is asking fans, please don't abandon us. Now, this is, in my opinion, this is kind of a tall ask, because season 1 of The Witcher I thought was good overall, but I don't know that it quite lived up to what I thought The Witcher could have been. But at the same time, I figured it's a first season. We're just getting off the ground. They're building. It's going to be great. Then the second season came along, and it just crapped the bed. The second season was so bad. And the fact that Cavill filmed the third season and then walked afterwards makes me think the third season is probably just a continuation of what we saw before. And then, they're replacing him with Liam Hemsworth, who's a fine actor. Got nothing against Liam Hemsworth, but I really feel like Henry Cavill just kind of owned this part, just like a lot of people figure he owns the part of Superman. And I feel bad for him coming in after him. I really do, especially given the bad material that they just are churning out for these shows. It's oh man, this is just such a shame. So here we got 2 examples of Hollywood, both of them in opportunities to just cash in, whether it's the DCEU just really getting a chance to monetize the fact that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has just lost its way and it's not what it used to be. And you've got, Netflix maybe has a chance to take a piece out of its, Disney Plus and all the other streaming services out there by getting something that a fan that has a really big fan base that would get really excited about it. And both of them, just for whatever reasons, are just absolutely fumbling the ball. They're giving up the lead. Oh, this is just so sad to see. And you know what? They have nobody to blame for themselves. I don't feel bad for anybody involved here. They had the chance. I'm sure that there was plenty of talks when it came to The Witcher between the creative staff and the talent who was making the show, saying, hey, this is the direction I want to see this show. This isn't the one I signed on to do. And they had plenty of time to course correct. 3 seasons, because the third season's done and Cavill did film it. So they had all that time to try to right their ship and try to put something out that the fans would enjoy. I don't know anybody that liked the second season of The Witcher. I really don't. The first season was just good enough, in my opinion, to justify me tuning in to see where they were going. But unfortunately, where they were going was nowhere that I wanted to keep going. I had no plans on watching the third season. I don't really have any reason to change my mind on that based on what I'm seeing. Maybe I'll watch the first episode or 2 just to see what they ended up doing. But yeah, I'm not excited for this at all. And as far as the DCEU, I feel like all the wind is gone, is just leaving their sails. I really do. Black Adam, God, they're saying it was a financial flop. It's hard to understand because it did make a lot of money, but based on its budget and marketing and everything else, I can see how it would still be a financial dud. And I don't necessarily know that Black Adam needed a sequel. I would think that the next evolution for the Black Adam franchise would be to put him up against Shazam. That's what the fans want to see, right? Shazam versus Black Adam. So that's kind of where I thought they were going to go with this. But to not bring Henry Cavill back as Superman, that's hard. That's really hard to believe they're going to do that. As far as Wonder Woman 3 goes, Wonder Woman 1984 was super, super bad. And really the only news that I heard was that Patty Jenkins' script had been rejected. And, I think what we learned, because Patty Jenkins directed the first Wonder Woman but did not write it, and it was a good movie, and then she wrote and directed the second one, and it was just an absolute turd. Maybe the lesson here is just that we let Patty direct these movies because she's got a great eye for cinema, but maybe she's not her talent isn't writing, at least not for superhero characters. So maybe it's keep her in as director and just give her a really good script to work with. Maybe Wonder Woman 3 still happens. So I don't know. James Gunn has kind of left everything up in the air by just saying that that report is kind of true and somewhat not true and not true at all. We really don't know. We really don't know what to believe is coming out of DC, but all I do know is that the messaging that they currently have that's being brought out to everybody just isn't the kind of messaging that gets you excited to see what they've got coming. And I really think they need to get in front of this, and they need to give the fan base something that gets them psyched about the DCEU moving forward, because as far as I know, their next movie is The Flash with Ezra Miller. And yeah, that's going to be a tough sell. I mean, it's going to be really hard for me to sit in a theater and have Ezra Miller sell me that he's the Flash after the summer that he's had. That's going to be a hard ask for me. So I don't know. DC. I think they need to get out there and they need to start cheerleading themselves a bit more than they are. No more of this. We're not going to make everybody happy. The message is we're going to do something the fans are going to love and we're going to give it our best. That's what needs to be coming out of DC right now. Yeah, that's all I got on these two things. So, I'm happy to be back as least as close to back as I can be. Hopefully in the next video, my voice will sound a bit more correct. But there's just so much going on and so much I get to talk about. So I want to do a little video, get my thoughts out on a few of these subjects. And that's really it. So let me know what you guys think. Are you excited about the DCU? Have what the DCEU press bin got you excited for it? Or are you starting to lose faith that James Gunn is going to give us something that's worthy of the characters of the DC universe? So let's talk about that in the comments below. While you're down there, do the usual stuff. Like I said, hit like, subscribe. Really appreciate it. And I appreciate you tuning in to the end. And I'll talk to you in the next video. See you then. Bye.